Good evening and welcome to my How Healthy Are You weekly educational call. My name is Dr. Thomas Brewer. I'm a PhD chemist. I'm going to start today's call answering a few questions that I got during the week. Actually, there were two questions on the same topic, and it dealt with cookware, meaning what are the best cookwares to use and why, and contamination issues from various types of cookware. So we'll start with the worst one out there, and that is any nonstick cookware that uses something called Teflon. So Teflon is a trade name from the DuPont company. And it's made with a polymer that contains carbon atoms and fluorine atoms just in a repeating chain. And the problem with Teflon is it degrades and it ends up in your food. So that's what makes this absolutely the worst of the cooking pans, or in this case, a non-stick coated cooking pan. Teflon and the various constituents, as it breaks down, ends up in the environment. And it's you're either going to get it by using Teflon or these toxins are in the environment, along with many other toxins are in our environment. And this really underscores the need for daily detoxification, meaning we're always exposed to these chemicals. Nonstick pans are just one example of toxins getting into our environment, and we're constantly needing to purify our body and specifically our organs. And there's many ways to do that. I've talked about them in the past, and we can probably continue to talk about them. But Teflon is a problem. The next is stainless steel. That's the type of cookware that chefs use. And it works quite well. It's pretty inert. There's very little contamination from the stainless steel breaking down. Most of stainless steel is iron anyway, and it's not a big problem when we get a little bit of iron, and this is very, very small amounts. The only issue with stainless steel is you've got to use a lot of oil or some sort of lubricant for the food, or the food sticks. So chefs don't mind because they make the food tasty with a lot of different fats and oils, like butter and oils like vegetable oils. And people like the food, and it doesn't stick to the stainless steel pan, but that's not a good way to eat, because when you consume too many fats and oils, it ends up staying in your blood and competing with your red blood cells for oxygen. So it's a problem to eat too many fats, even though fats are popular in keto-type diets. When you go overboard, it actually is detrimental to the body. So stainless steel works. It's just something you have to deal with, is getting the food not to stick. I recommend for oils, coconut oil and olive oil, as long as you're not heating too high. But coconut oil, any temperature is fine. And avocado oil, again, a nut-type oil. Grapeseed oil, again, a nut-type oil. Those work. The next one is iron skillets, and most people own one of these, and they seasoned it with some sort of oil, and usually they're handed down from generation to generation. Obviously, they're made of iron, and they work well because there's just a little bit of iron that will deteriorate and migrate out of the pan into your food, but not many people complain about getting a little extra iron anyway. So iron pans work quite well. The only caveat is do not use vegetable oil with an iron pan. And the reason is the iron that leaches from the pan is actually a catalyst, and catalysts make reactions go faster. So the iron, when it reacts with the vegetable oil, it makes carcinogens. So you don't want to heat vegetable oil when there's a catalyst like iron around. And this doesn't happen so much with the stainless steel, but it does with the iron skillets. Because remember, stainless steel is mainly iron, but it's not 100% iron. So the iron is bound in a matrix in a stainless steel pan, but in an iron skillet, it's iron. So just avoid vegetable oil. Now, you shouldn't be using vegetable oil anyway in your cooking, so that shouldn't be much of an issue. The final one I wanted to talk about was these ceramic nonstick pans, and they tend to be the best ones out there. So ceramic is, if you're looking for nonstick, and which means you don't want to use a lot of oil, they seem to be the best for less leaching. One thing you will notice, even with ceramic cookware that are supposed to be nonstick, after a while they do stick. So that means something has leached into your food, and the issue here is nothing is perfect. So this trade-off between cooking something nonstick versus cooking something that won't leach some chemicals into your food, so far there's nothing that does both. You're either going to get some leaching or you're going to have a food sticking problem. You know, one thing I forgot to mention was about aluminum. So there's aluminum pans, and there's also just aluminum in the environment, and it's really not a good thing. It's not just pans, but it's drinking goblets and drinking devices that we travel with. And the problem with aluminum is it leaches pretty quickly when whatever is around it is somewhat acidic, like tomatoes and various juices, especially the citrus juices are acidic, so you get more aluminum leaching. Conversely, the aluminum foil people use perhaps to bake a potato in doesn't seem to leach aluminum too badly, not bad at all. And it also doesn't matter which side of the aluminum foil you were to cook a potato in or your vegetables. Even if you put it around your meat, some people do that, meat or fish, they'll make a little aluminum foil boat and barbecue or put it in the oven, but it does not leach too badly. The problem with aluminum and aluminum pans is when there's an acidic food around it. So, and the other issue with aluminum, which is just like stainless steel and just like iron, since it's not coated with something non-stick, you end up with problems with food sticking. And we're still not there with the perfect cookware that is non-stick and doesn't leach any chemicals. So if the non-stick surface is degrading, all that means is it's breaking down and leaching chemicals into the food. This is a slow process. You don't hear about many or even any cases of people being poisoned this way. It is possible they are, but it's usually never. I mean, I don't know of any case where toxicity issues or poisoning was due to the cookware, or at least linked to the cookware. There's so many other ways for us to find toxins in our environment. So that is what I wanted to start the call off with. I'm going to open up the call to questions, and let's do that now. Okay, let me boy, I'm having trouble with all these little new buttons in the system. All right, finally. Okay, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask your question. If there's noise in your background, please mute yourself out if you can. Do we not have any questions? I guess not. Well, perhaps everyone wants to get back to their Memorial Day festivities. So if that's the case, thank you for listening. It's Louise?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the significance of warm water in lemon water versus cold water?
Right. And so the significance of warm water in the lemon water, morning tonic perhaps, whether you take turmeric with it or not, is the same reason you use warm water when you consume a meal. It does not eliminate enzymatic activity in your stomach. So when you drink anything cold, it prevents your body from digesting food. Well, that works fine if you're between meals. But if you're preparing the body for, say, breakfast, or in this case, you just want the lemon to absorb well, then you want it to be with warm water. So it just, warm allows the enzymes in the stomach to function, and cold does not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. That's actually a good question, because I've been mentioning putting the lemon juice in warm water, and I probably never explained why you want to start your day with warm water and lemon juice. So thank you for the question. Do we have any other questions? I was about to sign off the call, but perhaps not. Okay. So again, thank you for your attention, and I'll be doing another conference call next week. An update to my travel: I will be in northern Nevada this weekend. I'll be leaving Thursday, so plan your orders accordingly. Also, I just had a problem with my phone, and my text messages all went away, and some of them were orders that I was going to get to today. So if you're able to listen to this call, please resend your order, because I've lost all of my text messages. I'm having a technician work on it, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to recover them. It's very strange. And then my trip to Pennsylvania, which would have been next weekend, has been postponed, and I've mentioned that a few times, and I don't know when I'll be able to get to Pennsylvania. It's all dependent on how the airlines are and how airline travel is. So until next week, wish everyone a safe and healthy evening. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.